This is good when it comes to additional checks for the low income. I have all the details and everything you need to know right here in this video. Let's get into it right away. But really fast before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to subscribe by hitting that button right down below the video, as I am your one and only daily advocate, and I'm very much dedicated to you and this community to do all the research and to break it all down into these short videos so that you can get the latest details hot off the wire each and every day as this information is being released. It's a busy time out there, things are changing rapidly, but my dedication is to be here right by your side and to help you out in any way that I possibly can. Make sure that we get additional money, benefits, programs, or anything else we can possibly get our hands on right now. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and let's get right into the update. All right, so first off, as we work our way through this video, I do want to talk about multiple different news stories or headlines that are out there right now that are actually good when it comes to additional stimulus checks, specifically focused on the low income. However, as you'll quickly notice as we go through these news stories, these are not necessarily things that we want hanging around forever. In fact, when it comes to checks, it's probably a good thing, but when it comes to just us being humans trying to live our lives, probably not like the best thing in the world, right? However, these are things that are actually going on out there right now. These are things that are in the headlines, and when it comes down to additional checks, these could actually be pretty good things, as in additional catalysts that could actually produce and send out additional checks as a result of so many different weird things that are going on out there, not only in this country, but around the world right here, right now. So let's jump right into these and talk about them one at a time. All right, so first off, let's quickly talk about China. Now, I get it. A lot of us here right here in this community are based in the United States. However, we do need to watch China very closely as well. We do import a ton of different products and goods out of China, and we do need to watch that country very closely. Here's what's going on. China is locked down in multiple different cities. In fact, the last time that I saw a report on this, there were over 40 cities that are in lockdown right now, encompassing millions and millions and millions of people because of COVID. I mean, seriously, here we are over 2 years into this thing, and they are still locking down millions upon millions of people. In fact, I just read a report a short time ago that said people are going out onto their balconies and yelling and screaming for food because they're basically running out of food and they've been locked down and they are not allowed to leave their houses. Scary stuff, right? Yeah, could you imagine trying to be in that situation right now? It sounds like it is a pretty tough situation in China. However, the policy they have over there is zero COVID policy. In other words, I guess zero means zero, and they are not allowing a whole lot to go on. When they even get a small case count of COVID, they lock the whole thing down. In fact, right now, they are reaching record levels that they've never seen before when it comes to COVID cases. Seems weird, right? But it's the truth. I mean, unbelievable. When I was reading this, I thought, seriously? They're reaching record cases of COVID? Yeah, they are, according to the reports. Get this, today alone, they reported a little under 24,000 cases, 23,000, and it was like 700 something cases today. That's nothing. I mean, seriously, here in the United States, we're reporting about 30,000 new cases a day, and that to us is like teeny tiny. That's nothing, considering about 3 months ago, we were actually posting about 1 million cases a day or more. So 30,000 a day for us is like nothing, and we're pretty much like celebrating that, right? But in China, they're saying, oh no, we got to lock the whole place down. So here's the deal. I get it. We're talking about China, but for the most part, we got to watch this closely because here's the thing. Maybe what's going on in China is the next big wave of COVID that could make its way around the entire globe like it did a couple years ago, right? So we got to watch that very closely. And remember, COVID is the reason why stimulus checks went out in the first place. I know a lot of us are kind of sick of the whole COVID thing. I know we want to move on with our lives, but we also have to remember too, COVID is the reason we got stimulus check number 1, $1,200, stimulus check number 2, $600, and stimulus check number 3, $1,400. This is the reason why, because it came here, we shut down the economy, we did different things, people needed relief, and they sent out stimulus checks. So at the end of the day, COVID, it's not such a fun thing, but at the end of the day, I guess it did result in $3,200 in our pockets. So, I don't know. How much do we really dislike it? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we probably don't want it around, though. My point is, but either way, we got to watch this very closely. And what's going on in China right now is ultimately going to lead to additional supply chain issues going forward because we import so many different products out of China. Once again, it's going to result in some massive supply chain issues going forward. And it's going to be a long time to get these things through because a lot of the people over there in China being locked down, they can't really go out to work, right? So a lot of these factories are still operational at the time, but the ports are getting backed up. The factories aren't being able to stay keeping pace with production, things like that, because workers are down, workers are out, there's less workers, there's more testing, there's all kinds of different restrictions. Kind of a bad situation. Kind of get what I'm saying with all this? So the point is, we got to watch China, even if we're not located over there. We've got to watch it very closely. It's a major trade partner of ours right here in the United States, and a lot of the stuff that we have in our homes comes out of China. So it's just kind of the fact of the matter right now. We've got to watch that closely. All right, so that's point number one that I wanted to talk about. Number two, gas prices. Yes, gas prices are still very much elevated right now, and likely, according to what we're seeing here, likely gas prices will continue to move their way much higher. As of right now, AAA is reporting a national average gas price of $4.07 per gallon, which is actually down a little bit considering the national average about a month and a half or so ago, give or take a week or two, was at $4.33, which was a record. Now, that was probably, like I said, probably about 5 or 6 weeks ago. I'm guessing about a month and a half ago or so. That came out, and that was $4.33. However, they're still anticipating sometime this year that we'd likely see about $5 per gallon gas as a national average. Remember this too. There's that proposal out there that the Democratic representatives introduced a few weeks ago where they were actually wanting to send out $100 per month ongoing, provided, by the way, that is per person in a household, $100 per person, and $200 as a married couple, and an additional $100 if you have dependents. But my point is, they wanted to send these checks out for every month the gas prices as a national average were over $4 a gallon. Well, check it out. Hey, Congress, you owe us another $100 because it's still over $4 a gallon as of right now, $4.07. Now, it may continue to go down a little bit more. It may go down below $4 a gallon. However, guess what we have coming in about a month from right now? Yes, the kickoff to the unofficial driving season, which is called the summer driving season, right? Memorial Day weekend is what kind of kicks that off. Now, typically during the summer driving season, which is Memorial Day through Labor Day, we typically see increased gas consumption because a lot of us are out hitting the roads, going on road trips, heading out of town for the weekend or, whatever people do over the summer. Honestly, I don't really know. I don't really do much, but my point is that's just what people do. So we consume a lot more gas in this country. Therefore, demand and supply, the supply-demand equation, therefore, if there's more demand and equal or less supply, therefore, prices must go higher, right? Simple economics. So anyway, we may have a little bit of a reprieve here on gas prices for just a short time, but it's likely going to tick much, much higher here over the next month, month and a half, and realistically, the next several months as we get into the summer driving season. So when it comes down to Congress and that bill, the Tax Rebate Act of 2022, according to that, they'd still owe us another $100. So I guess we'll put it on their tab, right? We'll send them a bill at the end of the month, right? At this point, they owe us a few $100s by now. So anyway, I'll keep you posted on that as we do get more details. So next, and this one is actually a little bit interesting. So Michael Cohen, not sure if you know this name. I'm going to be honest with you. I wasn't too familiar with the name until I did a little bit more research on this person. Michael Cohen, he is previously the former personal attorney for President Trump. Yeah, so he was the guy who was the personal attorney. And basically he was out in an op-ed just the other day. And he pretty much is informing Democrats, if you guys want to get anything done, you got to get your agenda done now because it's not looking too good for the midterm elections. We all know the midterm elections are coming up here relatively quickly, and Michael Cohen in this op-ed report was basically pretty much talking to Democrats saying, if you guys want to get your agenda done, now is the time to get your agenda done because once the midterm elections come, it's pretty much going to be game over. You're not going to get anything done anymore. So we know that the midterm elections are coming up here relatively quickly. In a matter of just months from now, Democrats recognize there's a lot on the line right now, and as the chips are laying right now, again, this is not a political statement. I don't take political sides in my videos. I simply tell you what's going on in the headlines and what I'm finding from my research. But here's what we're saying. Democrats are going to have a hard time when it comes down to the midterm elections. That's not my words. Those are the words of basically everybody else that you can see out in the headlines right now. There's a lot of different statements out there saying Democrats are probably going to have a pretty hard time right now because they've got this massive inflation. Americans are struggling right now. There's a lot going on in the United States. It's not looking too good. There's a lot of people that are pretty disappointed with the economic conditions in this country. And again, even Democrats are saying this. I've seen multiple reports coming out from Democrats even saying, we got to do something, and we've got to do something fast because it's going to be an ugly situation for us. And that was Democrats that have been saying this. There's a lot of different reports out there. So again, this is not me taking sides. It's simply what is going on. If you don't believe me, feel free to do some research. It's not that hard to find some reports out there talking about the midterm elections and what Democrats may have on their plate going forward. The point is, Democrats recognize that just as much as all of us do, regardless of which side we take, it doesn't really matter. We all recognize the American people are struggling right now and something needs to be done. Now, why do I say Democrats? Simply because they have full control. They can do a reconciliation package. They can do a stimulus package. They can do standalone stimulus checks. They can do something right now. They have full control of everything. They can whip out a reconciliation bill and they can get almost anything they want into that thing. Of course, with the exception of a few different things. They can't do some certain things through reconciliation, but for the most part, they can do just about anything through reconciliation. In other words, they could send out monthly ongoing stimulus checks. They could do a one-time stimulus check. They could do $2,000, $1,400. They could do $2. They could do $5,000. They could do whatever they possibly want with a reconciliation bill. They have the cards, they have the ability, they have the authority to do that right here, right now. The only thing that they have stacked against them is time. But right now, they have time on their side. They have a little bit more time to get this done. But if they sit on their hands much longer, unfortunately, it's not going to be enough time, right? The time is going quick here, and there's only a handful of months until the midterm elections. But realistically, if they wanted to get something done, they got to get it done quickly because in order to secure the votes that they want and are probably going to need, they have to get that done soon, right? They can't roll out with a package on October 30th and say, check it out, we got it done. At that point, unfortunately, it's going to be too late, right? They got to get it done now, like soon, like really, really soon. And that's exactly what Michael Cohen is also saying in this report. So anyway, kind of interesting stuff with everything going on out there. These are just a few of the reports that I came across. But again, there is so much else going on out there right now. Seriously, I've said it before, but it's kind of like a big old dumpster fire. Seriously, don't stand downwind because you're going to be breathing a lot of black smoke. You don't want to be doing that, right? It's probably a little bit toxic. My point is, I'm not taking political sides with this video. I'm simply saying there's a lot going on in this country right now. They've got to get something figured out. And when I say they, I mean everybody. Democrats, Republicans, independents, the administration, the president, everybody needs to get something done. And they got to do something to help out the American people. We're struggling right now. There's a lot of people that are having a hard time out there. And they recognize it just as much as we, the people that are out here, right now, in the depths of everything right now. And we've been kicking, we've been screaming, we've been doing everything we possibly can. We've been pleading with them. Let's just see if they hear our cries. Hopefully they do. But I'm going to continue doing everything I possibly can to get in their face and to do whatever I possibly can to get some of their attention. If they hate me, I don't really care. I'm not here to appease Congress. I'm not here to do anything to get on the side of Congress. I don't even want to be their friends. I don't really care about Congress. I don't agree with them. And for the most part, I think that they're not very good at their jobs. So my point is, let's get something out of them, right? So either way, I'm here for you in any way that I possibly can be. But these are some of the headlines that I see out there for you. And I want to make sure that you're staying updated with everything going on because seriously, we're in a tough time right now. And, how much longer can we really deal with all this that's going on right now? The economy, it's not doing that great, even though they tell us it's doing great. Inflation is ripping our face off every single day. It's hard. The prices on everything are going up right now. It's a tough time out there, but either way, I'm here for you. I'm on your team, and I'm here right by your side. So I'm going to wrap this video up. Before I get a little bit too overheated in this video, sometimes you see me do that in my videos, and I got to wrap this thing up before I get off my rocker, as some people might say. Anyway, make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. I just feel like it's really frustrating to see so many people struggling right now. I just want to do what we can, and it's tough that we don't have the authority to do something ourselves, right? So anyway, I'm here for you. Please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and go back and check out any of the other nearly 2,400 videos right here on the video or on the channel. Enjoy your day, and subscribe down below, and I'll catch you again later.